What if we blew up the moon? In 1957, American morale was at an all-time low. The Russians had just successfully launched the first man into space, and it seemed likely they'd send the first man to the moon as well. This simply would not do. The Americans needed a vanity project, a show of strength to prove to the world that Uncle Sam was still totally ripped and badass. To achieve this, the American government commissioned a study of lunar research flights, aka Project A119, whose aim was to intimidate the Soviet Union by blowing up the moon with an atom bomb. According to calculations by the project's researchers, who at the time included a young Carl Sagan, the moon would not have been destroyed by such a blast. Instead, it was hoped the lunar detonation's nuclear flash would be enough to show the Soviets who was boss. Thankfully, the project was abandoned, with America deciding to land on the moon instead of irradiating it. What if we had sent an atom bomb to the moon? And what would have happened if we'd gotten our calculations wrong and destroyed it? Turns out, it's not all that bad. Number 4. Hot tubs everywhere. Regardless of whether you use a missile, meteor, or your mom's buttocks, the force required to destroy the moon would see it ripped apart into a maelstrom of rock. The small chunks would burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, but the large ones would rain down on whatever side of the Earth the moon was facing when it went kaput. This would cause huge shock waves upon striking the Earth, and any human populations in the vicinity of a land impact would stand no chance of survival. However, with 2/3 of our planet covered in water, most of the moon's remnants would probably strike our oceans. If this happens, boiling hot spots of water would be formed at the point of impact. And as Hollywood movies have shown us, the collision of rock and ocean will result in a global tsunami, the likes of which the Earth has never seen before. But if you miss this tsunami because you're too busy trying to survive on high ground like a wuss, then don't worry. Just like Hollywood, there's a terrible sequel on its way. Number 3. Surf's up. After the impact-driven tsunamis caused by chunks of moon slamming into the ocean, Earth will endure a second tsunami that strikes every coastal region on the planet. And what's interesting is that this devastating event will be caused not by the presence of the moon, but by its absence. The moon's gravity pulls water towards itself as it orbits our planet, forming a bulge in the ocean as it passes over. Meanwhile, the centrifugal force between Earth and the moon creates a second outward bulge on the opposite side of Earth. As a result, thanks to the orbital rotation of our good friend the moon, literal good tidings are brought to all. However, if the moon vanished, all hell would break loose. The sun, which has a minor effect on the Earth's tides, would gain full control of them in the moon's place. But because Mr. Sunshine is so very far away, he would be unable to maintain the tides which the moon has driven ever since Jesus gave birth to it. At the moment the moon is destroyed, Earth's ocean bulges would sink like a souffle, causing a gargantuan double tsunami at each bulge point. These waves will consume much of the Earth, wiping out everyone, bar mountaineers, pro surfers, and mermaids. Because these bulges artificially lower Earth's sea levels, our planet's geography will become permanently changed as a result. Number 2. Earth becomes an oven. If the tide of the oceans is altered, ocean currents such as the warm Gulf Stream will also change. This will cause the eastern coast of America, the United Kingdom, and Western Europe to become much colder than they are at present due to the Gulf Stream's warming effects. But since our moonless Earth is destined to transform into a scorching hot oven anyway, this cooling might not be so bad. Remember those little chunks of moon rock we said would burn up in our atmosphere? Well, it's true, they would. But there would be so many of these small burning objects that our atmosphere would become heated as a result. Add to this the blanket of debris kicked up by the land impacts of the larger moon rocks, and Earth turns into one giant easy-bake oven without a single delicious treat in sight. This scorchy business would be compounded further by the erratic nature of our planet's seasons. The moon's gravity helps stabilize Earth's movement. Delete the moon, and our planet starts shaking like a Polaroid picture held by Michael J. Fox. This would cause the seasons to go all out of whack, with some regions experiencing several climates in the space of one day. You could wake up to a bitter frost and go to bed under a heat wave. That's how crazy things might get. Thankfully, such dramatic changes would take millions of years to take effect. But gradually, without our moon, the habitability of our planet would decrease. Many organisms would die out. Werewolves would be permanently trapped in their human form, unable to resist the vampire menace. And while a few remaining humans may adapt, there's a chance that the extinction of the moon might take humanity with it. Number 1. It's not all bad. As mankind heads for its final days here on planet Earth, we can take solace in the fact that astronomy will now be much easier without the moon to distract us. In the absence of our lunar lover, Earth's night sky would be far brighter, allowing us to see planets, star systems, and galaxies in all their true glory. Or at least we would for a short time. Eventually, Earth will get a shiny new replacement moon to replace the one we broke. So what gives? Is there a spare one in the garage behind Dad's booby magazines? Nope, the new moon will be formed from the debris of our old one, and this process will not take very long. First, Earth will develop a ring like Jupiter as the moon's leftovers fall into orbit. Then, over time, this material will coalesce and form one or perhaps several brand new moons. Astronomers believe this formation may take place over as little as a month, or no longer than a century, since this is the time it took for our current moon to form when it was created by an impact between Earth and a Mars-sized planet 4.4 billion years ago. If Earth does acquire several moons, it's likely these will eventually merge as one due to collisions, with this process taking tens of millions of years to occur. And when that happens, our planet will finally get back together with its ex, and all will be well again. Moony McMoonface will have gotten thinner and lost a few of those unsightly craters, and hopefully will never break up again. Although our moon may be a little oblong-shaped for a while, only rounding off after a few thousand eons. But let's not body-shame the moon when we've only just made up. I love you, moon, all your curves and all your edges. And I suggest we celebrate our celestial world's oblong shape with a suitably descriptive name. Future lunar buddy, I hereby dub you Moon Long Johnson. See, I said a moonless future wouldn't be so bad, didn't I? You're kind of tempted to destroy it now, aren't you? If you'd like to know how, just take a look at our bonus video, How to Destroy the Moon, which you can watch on our Patreon page at patreon.com/strangemysteries. For a $2 a month pledge, which you can cancel at any time, you'll get to watch this and all of our bonus content, which goes deeper and darker into every topic than YouTube allows. If you don't want to donate, then that's
bullshit. We know you wanted more. Strange Mysteries on YouTube and our Patreon bonus videos weren't enough to quench your search for truth, to give you that sense of awe and wonder again, to go past what you thought was the end, to give you the answers you seek, but which only lead to more questions. That's why we just upped the stakes. Chemicals of reality. Reality, consciousness, brains. What else is there? Ask yourself that question. Perhaps that's all there really is, but perhaps everything else is found within a place where these ideas, these things, overlap. Some thing, some place that is undefinable. To many people, altering certain chemicals in their brains produces what they would simply call hallucinations. In fact, what we're going to discuss specifically used to be called the businessman's trip, as one could enjoy it. Come down and put your pants back on in the time it takes to eat lunch. It wasn't taken seriously, well, unless of course you started digging. And some people, including us, did. Already though, to many people, this chemical is special amongst others. Very special. To them, it represents something more meaningful and incredible, as if it's the gateway to the next level of consciousness. The ticket to a higher reality barely explored by most humans. It is the entry point to a new reality, visited by only a select few, whose minds have become enlightened through the use of this exotic substance. For this reason, it's commonly referred to as the spirit molecule. But is its reputation as a mystical mind-opener deserved? Or is it, and everything it represents, just a load of bullshit? We look at, investigate, and dive deeply into nearly all available research regarding this question, from nearly every angle feasible. and in the course of doing so, stumble upon unexplainable patterns, correlations, and neurological evidence for a reality existing beyond this one. Watch this hour-long Strange Mysteries premium video, Chemicals of Reality, as well as many more to come by becoming an elite premium member of our Patreon at patreon.com/strangemysteries.